And good morning. This is Brad Zockoll, and it is early morning here at Grace Christian Academy here in Knoxville. And as you can see, I'm not in my classroom. I'm over in the science classroom, all these test tubes and these beakers and all this kind of stuff. And one of the things that I see whenever I'm in a science class is the joy of observation. And one of the great things of observation that I enjoyed in science class is change. You will see things change by the chemicals and by the other things that you are watching and you study and all. And when I think of that, when we talk about all the change and different things, I think about 1 Corinthians chapter 15. And that's where I was listening and I was studying this morning and learning about this. And I want to share an encouragement to you. You see, I'll give you a background first before we get going here. At the time that Jesus came to earth in Bethlehem, the Pharisees were pretty much running, their beliefs in the religious system. And the Sadducees did not believe in an afterlife at all. That's why they partied here on earth, and they had a lot of corruption and everything again, and then kowtowed with the Romans because it was all here and then you die and that's it. But the Pharisees did believe in an afterlife. But one of the things that they taught through all of their legendary, repetitive teachings, is they said this: when you die and you go to the afterlife, you have to have an individual personality. And so when in the afterlife, you will have the same eyesight or poor eyesight. You'll have the same hair pattern. Isn't that terrible to think about? You will have the same limp. If you stutter, you will still stutter. If you have a crippling disease, you will show the effects of the disease. If you can't really, get your thoughts together, that'll be the way of you. And if you're forgetful, you will carry all the foibles of this life over there so people will know you for you. As a matter of fact, you'll even keep the same clothes that you had on earth, and you have them in the afterlife in heaven. All right? So you're thinking, well, that's great. I'm going to spend eternity, half blind or stuttering all over the place, or a dialect that I don't want, or a limp, When think about the people that are severely limited, we're going to be like that in a wheelchair, or we're going to be like this with an emphysema type of a rasping and hacking and things like that. How depressing. Well, a former Pharisee breaks away from this after he has an encounter with Christ, and he brings out what has been taught to him from the heavenlies. And he is Paul. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I want to encourage you to read. And I'll just give you a synopsis here. He says, I want you to understand something. Take a seed, a little corruptible seed, a little small seed. You put it in the ground. It will die. But when it dies, then the life really begins. Then the glorious afterlife is going to show none of the limitations of the size or the crustiness of that seed. That's the way that the Christian's going to be. Look at the glories, Paul says, of the heavenlies. They're all glorious, but the sun's not the same as the moon. Each star is different, and they are all, unique in themselves. Well, you'll be unique, but you're not going to have the corruptible uniqueness of the earth. You're going to be glorified. Jesus is going to be glorified in your life, and you get to be with him forever. You're not going to be limited like here on earth. Now, there's a ton we can say, but I want to encourage my friends, because there are Christians right now. We have a very dear friend to our family who has crippling migraines. We have another one that's grieving very deeply because of a divorce which left them very, very heartbroken. We have others that are in wheelchairs. We have others that are limited because of former diseases or present diseases. And people just go through limitations. And I want to encourage you, 1 Corinthians 15, it says, that's not going to happen in heaven. You will be delivered from that body of corruption. And when we will take it, and maybe, just maybe, if we follow 1 Corinthians 15 and 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, we may not even have the taste of death. If Christ should come back, and I truly believe it's going to be soon, we will be taken in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, and we'll forever be with the Lord. And we can comfort one another. I want to give you comfort today. On this Friday, before we go to the weekend, if you are limited by physical or emotional problems that encounter you, it ain't going to be that way forever. Christian, that's one of our benefits of our faith in Christ, is that we will not be stuck with those things that have tormented us physically, emotionally, or any other way here on earth. Something to think about. 1 Corinthians chapter 15. I encourage you to read that. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Wednesday night's Bible study online was a great encouragement for us to be able to talk back and forth. And if this video today can help anybody, would you do me a favor? Would you share it with them? It's meant to encourage people, and I want to encourage you as well. Hey, this is Brad Zockoll. I'm looking at the clock, and I've got to go get some homework done and prep for the class day today, and I'm just looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to talking with you, God willing, tomorrow morning. Take care. God bless you. I do love you dearly.